Hello everyone, Hachadino over here, and as you always know, you can like my videos, subscribe in any of the guys that is over there, and also check out the sheet where we have a lot of things about Rogue in general and also subtly in a lot of videos. We're going to focus this one on the new hero talents that just got announced today. I'm going to show them here now. Is the Trickster. There's thing in Wowhead that you can check and you can see the talents themselves, but here it's a little bit of a visual representation that Fu has sped up, and they also put them themselves. And it seems Trickster, as you can see here, subtlety and outlaw is going to be the thing that we share in those two specs. Right now we still have to see Fatebound and Deathstalker, but let's talk about this. The main mechanic of these hero talents, let's say, is Unseen Blade. It works with other things, but mainly it will work with Feint. It will give us 2 combo points, and it will make an Unseen Blade strike, and they are getting this debuff that is called Phased for 5 seconds. Then as you see here, phased enemies takes 5% more damage and cannot parry your attacks. That means that you can hit them from the front and they can't do anything to avoid it. And then you have 3 places that you can go. You have surprising strikes. You have all builders will have 25% increased critical strike damage. Remember, that's the important thing. Into phased targets. Then you also have Mocha mirrors. You can choose one of those. Of course, you can get extra damage reduction or reduction from phased targets. So it's more likely that smoke is going to be used, as it will affect dots and other things that are not AoE damage. Feint already has 30 or 40% depending on how you make it. It's already quite enough. You don't need that extra 10%. For Flawless Form, Unseen Blade and Killing Spree get Mastery on Outlaw. Remember, don't try and be hardhead thinking that Killing Spree is going to still be bad or Mastery is still going to be bad. It can change at any moment. Right now, of course, with the way Outlaw is, you don't really enjoy that. And Subtlety does have Secret Technique and Unseen Blade. In this case, with this extra mastery. And of course, multiple applications may overlap. That means that we may save 2 stacks of our Feint if we still have that talent in the new expansion to get that extra Unseen Blade, and also with Secret Technique to get 3 applications. We also have the next one here, Slice and Dice, 10% to get an Unseen Blade. It's of course random, we don't know the chance, it's going to of course be something that we don't know. Flicker Strike, taking damage with Feint, with AoE, area damage, important, and also dodging with Evasion, triggers Unseen Blade. Only occurs every 5 seconds. If nothing changes, it's likely that we may pre-pull the boss with Evasion to get that extra Unseen Blade on pull. It's going to be quite funny, of course, but maybe they will change it. Here, of course, Secret Technique, now 5% with the face, as you know, and also for 5 seconds. This one is really strange too. Tricks of the Trade will last 1 hour. Right now, we can actually spec out of Tricks of the Trade and choose Blackjack instead. I'm curious if that will still be the case or it will get changed. Blind and Shroud of Concealment have 10% reduced cooldown. Those extra seconds can be quite crucial sometimes. Pickpocket and Sub range, 10 yards. Sub range is something really useful. You don't really know how useful it is until you play with it. And then, of course, here Nimble Flurry, in outlaw, Killing Spree, more damage and reduce cooldown. Of course, remember, right now Killing Spree is not a huge button, but it may be in the future. As for Sublety, use 10% more damage and 10% reduced cooldown. That may open the door to get 3 secret techniques in our opener if dust still is a thing. Now here, Cloud Cover and Nostropos. This track now creates a cloud of smoke and is increased to 90 seconds. And within that smoke, targets are phased. As you know, you can use this track in combat with no issue. So that is something quite interesting. Then you also have no scruples, finishing move, 10% chance to critical strike to phased targets. That of course will mean that after we use secret technique, we will have that phased for 5 seconds, and for outlaw in this case, after you use Killing Spree or other things that may enable that phase debuff. One of those, of course, being Feint. Elaborate Thrill, more duration on Flawless Form. It may let us get more stacks together or to space them out better. And finally, Coup de Grace. You have Outlaw, you get, of course, 4 strikes, and next dispatch will get extra damage. And also, if the target is phased, you get 5 stacks of Flawless Form. Of course, as you know, dispatch is not a huge finisher on this case, but getting those 5 stacks of Flawless Form may be something interesting. And if it stacks enough and you can get more than 5, it may be something to do. Of course, as you know, main gauge right now is not something huge, but it may be in the future if there are more talents and things to bonus it. And Sublety, Big Eviscerate or Black Powder. That means, of course, Black Powder is going to stay in the next expansion. And you can also proc this reliably in the opener right now. If you want, you can actually have the 3 feints, 2 of them, and then 1 extra if you reset with dust. We still don't know, of course, if dust is going to be a thing, but with that and 1 of those that you get from anything like Flicker Strike or 1000 Cuts or whatever we get from elsewhere, you will get that and get those extra 5 stacks to likely use in another secret technique. So that's all the talents. And now my thoughts on them. I think this as a theme, it's something that I find quite cool. A lot of people, we hate that we used to have feint to do actually damage, but I find it interesting and it leaves a lot of things to see. And as you know, this is the hero spec that is likely tuned to have a lot of damage, but not like the Death Stalker one that I think that it will be super spiky. This one will be kind of damage all the time. For that, I will finish the video. I think it's quite a cool spec. We will see likely changes from now to release, but we will see that later. With that, have a nice day. I will leave the Wowhead thing in the description, of course.